I actually see someone in here. There's one fleck it won't quite focus on. Oh, they left. Hello. Kind of one-handing this. I have a weight restriction on my left arm, but my phone is within the acceptable terms. Trying underneath this cobble field here. Whoops. Water's not as cold as I was expecting it to be. But can't complain, it's still cloudy and about 50, 54 degrees, somewhere around there. I usually use a larger pan, but they get a little heavy to carry around when you only got one good arm you could trust. I literally just started red polo. I haven't been out much. I've been on a do not do anything, so I'm really just testing to see what winter left behind from the changes. So right there, it doesn't really show up on the camera that well because of lighting. It's a micro, it's nothing to shout out about, but there's some color. Can't say I was skunked, but it's not great. So I'm in between this boulder patch. This boulder patch has all sorts of stuff here. A lot of it's this light overburden, so I'm trying to stay closer to the side here so I can maybe get a little more of the flood wash rinse action. Maybe get a couple. Hello, John Lars. I'm getting black sand. Normally I will see a bit of a red stain. A red stain would show me more of the water dry action, where the black sands will kind of start rusting out. But I'm not seeing any of that. But it's a new season. A lot of this stuff gets turned over and changes. I got the snuffer ready in case. Of course, I should have cleaned it before I grabbed it, but it's a minor problem. I don't even remember where I was digging last with that snuffer bottle. Probably still has some good gold in it. What's the best thing you've ever found? Out here the best thing is just a good sized match head flake. At least that's what I call them. They remind me of the little flip matches. I've never found anything big out here. Now, in my travels, I found some good stuff in Australia and Northern California. 3/4 ounce was my biggest. It was a tie between two pieces. The Australian piece is more pure, so that was the tiebreaker, was purity. They were like down to the milligram of scale. It's funny. I mean, I'm glad there's no snow, but it sure doesn't feel like it's May. The only thing showing it's May are the long days. So, let's see if I can turn this out of the light. Yeah. Oh, my screen's wet now. Alright. Let me wipe my hand off. I got water on the screen. Happens when you're panning. There we go. Back to normal. There's nothing good in here. I mean, I see stuff that I could get on a beach in a lot better quantities. So that test right there, that's too fluffy light of stuff. We need to move somewhere else adjacent. Maybe, I'm kind of looking at that root going down. That might be a little more anchored material right here. Or maybe this would be a little pool catch right here. Let's move on down and try it. Hey, Bradley. Finally getting out. I can only hold my phone with my left arm. For those of you who don't know, the reason I haven't been active, if you're subscribed, is I tore my left bicep. So I was kind of on lockdown for a while. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's all cemented in. Looks like an old, it's weird to say caliche in Alaska, but that's a cemented rock. I'll just pluck these rocks that are dry, these big ones out. Yeah, it's still not, the color's still not right. So what you get when you prospect in various areas, you start to see colors that trigger what you think will have the gold or not. If this had a little more of a red tone, kind of like the leaves here, the old fall leaves left behind that survived the winter, if they had a red tone to them, it'd be a better clue. But sometimes it's a few inches down that you see that red tone. I'm gonna scrape the top off, see if I see any different colors here. I haven't been here since last year. We literally the snow just melted away from here a couple weeks ago. I've got to tread careful. This is why I can't use both arms. My arm is locked, but my phone's not that heavy. Hey, Kisilov. Yeah, hopefully I do. I've got an appointment tomorrow to find out about where I'm at with the surgery and post-surgery, and what goes on from here about physical therapy or whatever. I don't think I really need to do physical therapy. I've been through it before on my hand. But I should have cleaned that pan out before. Yeah. I see a bigger micro, but it's still, you kind of see it right there. That's a little tiny piece of gold. Super flat. Itty bitty and not scream worthy. Alright. What could I be missing here? So last year we were working further up. I'm not tearing into the banks. This is all washout. When the water comes raging through here, which makes all these boulders and rocks round, it washes up on the side here and takes out these trees. It's an Alaska problem, it happens. They dumped a lot of these rocks when they were building a nearby road. Gotta go behind that tree. I think that stuff over here is a little bit more caked in and thick. It might be a little better of a bet. I don't know. That's why we're sampling. Yeah, that washed out pretty good right there. I bet under this rock would be good, but I'm in no condition to be lifting big rocks. Is the effort worth the fines? Today, probably not. Today, probably not. Now, there are times that it's worth it. Oops. There's definitely times worth it. It just depends on where you're at, what you're able to bring with you. Right now I'm just seeing if anything has changed, if spots we worked before washed out and have changed the surface flood gold. There are places out here where when you dig in this cobble, you can get 20 to 30 colors a pan, but you gotta find them first. You gotta go do what I'm doing, test here, test there, to try and find it. See how these rocks are kind of molded into there? This might be a good test material, but I don't want to drop it down this hole. I'd like a good find out here, but if I was to probably find anything good, I'd have to go to the other side by that bedrock and kind of get down under the water, and I'm not in the condition to be doing that right now with my bum bicep. So I've got to stay where I can walk. Luckily, I'm good at walking on rocks. Lots of practice walking on rocks. I don't know if this is going to be mostly dusty or whatever. We'll see. It'll probably pan away really quick. And then we'll see what's in that snuffer I brought. Because I don't know. I don't remember what I had at which trip last year that snuffer bottle was from. You see the water levels right here. All right, let's see if we got one. Oh, that stuff's like cakey. Appreciate it, John. I'm going to stratify this a little better because that stuff was sort of caked up. I want it to kind of grind all those dirt clods up. We'll probably hand pluck some rocks out of here. Don't expect anything exciting. This is the real grind to finding gold, is to take all the pans with minimal to nothing until you find the clues and get the trail, which is known as a pay streak. So when we shake the pan like so, notice how the rocks just kind of float, hover, and roll. And then as I slow down, they settle in a pile. That is the stratification that drops out the denser metals to the bottom. And when we're doing this wash action, we're literally just letting the light rollers come off, and they'll expose that dark black sand there from the light ones, because the lighter materials are not as thick as, or not as dense as the metals present. So don't expect any whooping or hollering. This is not a fantastic big gold area, but when the snow barely just left the terrain, and this is all meltwater coming down from the glaciers, it has this kind of brown tint to it. That's fresh snow going over the grass, moss, and stuff coming down from the hill. And let me get that down a little bit more. I saw one more piece. Nothing impressive. I'm not going to be boasting about, oh, we got a piece, because it's a puny piece. But hey, it's better than nothing. And I wish the lighting were a little better. Maybe I can shadow it. The cloudy day creates a broad glare. If this were a bright sunny day, I could get you a little more visual on this. So right ahead of that black sand pile, there's a little tiny itty bitty baby piece. At the front of that pile right there, another itty bitty little baby piece. It's cute little gold. Cute little gold. There's more cute little pieces in here, but you need a special kind of zoom to see them. Almost like a microscope. That's why we call them fly poops, micros, all that. So each spot had a little bit. We got a little bit more from this area here. The rocks are much bigger here and wider than they are here. So we might just try behind one of these bigger rocks. Okay, you know, you showing me a cool thing, I'll give you something. The only cool thing I would have on me out here is that snuffer that I don't remember where I got the gold, if there's gold or if I got whatever's in here from last year. I forgot. It could be anything. I'll show some actual gold. I'm sure there's gold in here. Ever have bear encounters? Redipole, yeah, I've been doing this for quite a while. And I got such a problem that I like to go out, even if I know I'm only going to get little tiny specks of gold. Yeah. Shoot, I got that thing on there pretty good. Hang on. Let me get up here. I got to get both hands on it. Can't say I didn't secure that well. Darn, that cap's hard. Sorry about that. I was trying to get that cap off and I needed both hands. Ever have any bear encounters? You should be able to share this, right? Man versus gold. Alright, I don't remember what's in here, but I see black sand. Oh, I already see gold from it, so this might be from California on that trip. This might be from Oregon on that trip. This might be from another place in Alaska up near Petersville. This might be, I've got like 10 of these bottles. Could always use another bottle. But as to bear encounters, when I was in Girdwood, I was panning on Crow Creek. Pay to dig public area where everyone can check it out. And I was panning like you watched me do on the river if you were here then. And lo and behold, I heard a snort. And behind me was a brown bear, a big brown bear. And all I did was keep swirling the pan, swirling the pan. And then finally, I guess maybe it didn't like the smell of my boot. Or whatever, but alright. I need a little more water in this pan to bring that level up for the stratification. We're just seeing what was in my last year's snuffer bottle. So you can see there's a piece, there's a piece. It's nothing big. Oh, you can see that whole, see how they can add up when you get a lot of spine ones? It's kind of cool, but it's cute. Hey, John R., good to see ya. It's cute little gold, but there's more here than what I was getting in the rest. Let's see if I can one-handed tap this. There's one, there's one. Notice how they just stay to the top. There's not a lot in here. Not a lot. I try to keep it real. A lot of videos you'll see them screaming gold and all sorts of stuff, but you're not always gonna get that. You're not always gonna get phenomenal gold. There's always the beginning steps. to getting better quality stuff. I really need to get this. You see, my fingers are dry enough. That's probably the biggest piece that's in this. Every time I touch the screen, it wants to... Oh, now it's focused on the reflection. Of course. Of course. There. That little wire piece is probably the biggest one in here. And you can tell by the size of these riffles, when I put my finger in here, that's not a big piece. It's nice, but it's not. I'm not going to lie to you and say that's wonderful. I mean, yes, don't get me wrong. All gold is wonderful gold. And one of the things people get disappointed of is when it's so small all the time. But snowflakes are small. And what do snowflakes do? They accumulate. So if you get enough of those small ones, you can get a really nice pile of powder. Not that it'll form into a snowball unless you melt it, but you know, it happens. I'm just sucking up all this material in here to get all those. So now we know what was in the snuffer bottle to begin with from last year that I completely forgot about and just grabbed to get a little panning in. And I got a rock stuck in the tip. Of course. I'm going to try and use a little water action and tapping to force it out of there. Maybe get a little hydraulic action. And I don't have anything to pop that out. Well, I guess we've got most of it. We're good. That's got some gold in it. I'm going to do a test pan over here. All gold matters. Yep, I just took a quick stop up the Hatcher in the boulder patch. Who knows what wonderful gold is underneath here. I'm sure there's some nice big raw looking cut flakes because this place, the source is way up in the mountains, as a couple of you know. Yeah, I don't know if I got any small sticks that survive winter that are strong enough, but it's all right. I wasn't planning on being out here too long. I just wanted to enjoy the day. It's 54 degrees. I think it's the warmest day we've had so far. But it's t-shirt weather. 54 degrees. So I can see the water levels actually coming up. Right here, that's starting to build up to flow here. And that's going down here and making a puddle down here. The water levels will fluctuate greatly because at night, during the day, up in the hills, the snow will stop to thawing and drop the water level. And then as the day climbs and the temperature goes up and warms, this water will slowly creep up during the meltdown. If we get one really, really warm day, it could be raging through here. But we're only 50 something here at the valley floor. So I was kind of thinking this big rock right here and those rocks might create a riffle effect and kind of concentrate it right here. It's a guess, but that's it. Will this be a good flood gold? We will see. That's a really lightweight scoop. Maybe I'm gonna... Yeah, ooh. Right there. I don't know if the color comes out with the pan, with the scoop being blue, but that's a really green stone. And green stones, like serpentine, jade if you're lucky, and the nephrite category of rocks, those do show specific gravity was met to help concentrate some things. They're a clue. They're not a positive, just a clue. And I'm going back to this little, what I call my panning cove. I got to make sure my pants are pulled up. It's one of the things when being a gold miner and gold panner. You get down, you end up role playing as a plumber. I'm being a little aggressive. This is test pan. So if I lose something, I lose something. If there's good stuff in here, it'll stay. I already am lucky I wasn't skunked. Now when I go out and I don't get diddly squat, even if it's a small micro piece, then I'm a little bit, well, bummer. But when you go to a place that's known for gold, even if it isn't spectacular gold, you should be able to get something. And that fresh spot does not quite look the right. Sorry. I don't know if that's... nope. So we sucked up that there's a micro, like super fine. Like that could literally be in a what do you call those makeup things? It could literally be powder in a makeup container. It's that fine. It won't show up on camera with this flat light from the clouds. Well, we tested there. 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 I thought that big rock would make a riffle action. I'm going to move down from it towards more of the waterway right here. Now, this is flood gold we're testing for. The seasonal turnover and reconcentration. So that was the worst one of our other spots down this way. Let's hope this isn't the worst. I do see a root running through here that probably helps anchor the soil out, and there's a big one right there, so I don't know. All these are educated, experienced guesses. Okay, this is more packed for sure. We got a rock jam there. I'll start plucking these. Those are anchored in good, anchored in good. So we got some solid pack here. It's definitely some solid pack. Solid pack doesn't mean that it's necessarily gold. Oh. You can probably see that color. It's not as heavy or dense green as some of the others, but that's definitely a heavier than average rock, just for volume. So this is denser for its size, which is a clue, but not an answer. Yeah. This is a lot better and tighter than that loose stuff up there. The color of the rocks for this region. Now, every region will have a different kind of clue base. So like in BC, if any of you watch Dan Hurd, he's got all those green stones that are close, that are jade or serpentine, gem grade jade. We get more jasper. We do get serpentine though. Serpentine is from the same formation style that BC has had. All right. Oh, see that red on this rock? See how it's white, light, clean, washed over? But down here we got this red staining. You can see it particularly well right there. That red is a sign of oxidization and rust from those black sands you see in the pan. Kind of correlate over to, now you see some of those red color stones stained. That's what I was talking about earlier. That one's stained all red. You see all these rocks up here, none of them are stained red, and then you get down into the right area, you got the red staining. I should probably wash those rocks off, but hey, that's another one of those heavy. This is a deeper green. The flat light doesn't show it, but that's a good one. I think we're going to get better result here. Not necessarily big gold, not big gold, but maybe more of the powdery stuff. No gold in Kentucky? It is one of the weaker states for gold. It wasn't quite active. The gold wasn't quite brought down by the glaciers that brought gold into Ohio, so it didn't quite make it down to Kentucky so well. Most of the gold Kentucky related on the east side fell on the Appalachians, on the east side of the Appalachians. So yes, Kentucky, it does have gold, but a really, really good day would be like I am right now. Now I've washed some of those rocks. We're gonna pluck some of these bigger ones off of here. Hello, Wolf Girl. Hello, Frank. There's a lot of that broken off quartz. Up in the hills here of Hatcher Pass, quartz is the main geological source for the gold. When they're chasing those veins, they're looking for mineralized contact points of the quartz. I gotta get this one out of here. And I'm gonna get this down a little more. I saw a couple look like powdery ones, or just those yellow rocks that are annoying and fool you, especially in flat light. All right, we're down to literally just black sand. I can't even get it to show up. One micro. Darn it. That wasn't even worth paying in that spot. It wasn't even better than the other one. So we're kind of doing worse. So we started down there. So-so. There, so-so. There, so-so. There. And then right there, what the scoop is where I did it last. I don't want to forget that snuffer bottle up there. Oops. Hey, Rocky Mountain. Look at that. There's some trapped materials in that. I don't know if I can. Let's see if we can do a little mossing. We only want to do the mossing where the water level reaches it. Let's try it right here. Kind of a light sandy loam. I'll just do a little bit. We call ourselves rock walkers. I'm doing the other people around here a service, making sure my pants aren't giving them a full show. We're just going to break down this moss, see if it had any sort of catch. If any of you gold mine, I recognize a few names in here, but miner's moss catches gold in sluice boxes. A lot of times I'd use carpet or expanded with miner's moss in it, or riffles and miner moss. There's all sorts of ways to catch gold. And they would, this moss acts like a trap for the gold itself. Universal. There's a few spots of moss on the other side on the barren rock I'd like to try. I wouldn't do it in the rock sides, the piles that let the erosion happen, but I'd definitely do it on the barren rock, leaving a little behind to regrow. I'm gonna rinse some of this out, just a little at a time. You can see by there, the water's already clearing up. Alright, I think I got that pretty well rinsed out. Goal is to make the visibility clear. Get some of that silt washed out of here. The silt is glacial till silt. Upstream of here, there's the Goldmint Glacier, or I believe it's called Goldmint. It's the upper headwaters of the Little Susitna River. Did I improve? Nope. Just stuff that this camera on live won't pick up. I could get it with a close-up, like my Sony camera could get it, but it's like making something that's smaller bigger than it seems. I'm still keeping it, but I'm not worried if I lose it. So last year we were up that way, closer to where those other people are. A couple buddies were working a good pile up there. There's a fair bit of flood gold on that section. And here's where we were. The spot was really tight packed. I don't know what was. It's tough to figure out. This is like kitty litter. It's so dry, loose. Any sort of water action would drop it down. We'd have to go all the way back to here where the cobbles start to show before there'd be any real gold capturing. I kind of like that, but that's right up in the bank of it. We tested a little moss from here in the boulders. Our water level's about right there, which is about level with what I'm standing on. But back there it goes down, so. Where should I dig next, guys? That's worthless stuff there. I've done that before. That pile is, I think, someone's classified tailings from before. But you wouldn't know that if you weren't a gold miner. You just walk by and say, oh, wow. Let's try and get a little deeper. I'll do one more pan and then I think I'll call it a day and get the rest of the stuff done I need to. But I needed to go one-arm prospecting. Hey, Kayla. Don't laugh. My gold is adorable, okay? Desperate times. Yeah. The other side with that exposed bedrock would be a lot better. But I'm working in the boulder field. If I do have a really big rock to move, I do have a really strong son to help me. But he just doesn't dig this as much as I do. I said hi to you, Rocky. And John. John got in here before you did. Plus, I've met Kayla, so I know her a little more. Ooh. There's one of those greenstones. We didn't get greenstones in the other spots. The density's about right. Ooh. Oh, there's like a mica pyrite on that quartz rock. I have gotten quartz rocks that I've smashed and got gold out of here. You haven't been on here forever? Yeah, I haven't done. I ended up working a really long time, and then I tore my bicep, so that's why I'm using my baby pan and being more careful and not less aggressive. I'll get my swinging tools out and start doing more, but I feel like Iron Man in a brace. I have a restricted movement, and I got a pretty good scar there from the surgery. This is my first panning of 2026. I think I'm just getting older. It was just a previous injury that just didn't quite tear and hurt and then healed over. And so I was off of work, and I had it felt like the worst cramp I ever had. It just felt like it pulled and tight, like a horrible muscle spasm. And then it just never felt quite right. And then I got home from work, had it checked out, and they're like, oh, yep, you tore your distal bicep. So I can't do anything with my left arm. My phone is about the heaviest thing I could do with it. Nope. If I was going for black sand, I'd be a winner, but shoot, those have gotten even worse. I thought with that greenstone it'd be better. Thought I might have one or two little specks. Oh well. That one would take more time to recover. I don't know. I don't know where I want to try. I don't think this spot's going to be as great as... Oh. Well, hello. I don't remember what that duck is, but it's a cool one. Shoot, I looked it up. Those ones are awesome. They love to play around and see what you're doing and stirring up. And then they just go for a ride down the rapids. That was cool. Borrow Kayla. She's a workhorse. She gets it done. I'd have to borrow her 4-inch if she'd let me, but she takes care of her dredges and they're precious. You've only ran your dredge 3 times, Ray? Go another shovel deeper? Alright. I'll go another shovel deeper. Let me get in position with my arm. That might be it. That might be the duck. Oh, it's got a little buddy down there. There's 2 of them. So that must be the male one with all the flamboyant feather design to try and entice the lady. Cute little duck couple out there. Alright, let's try and go a little bit. Yeah, it works out. I just rest my elbow on this rock, have no load, keep the phone in my hand, so I'm not doing anything reckless. Yeah. There we got another. This packed pretty good. Guess I'll have to. It's filling. That's not quite right. Like it's looser under here. It felt better on the top than it did down deeper. Chainsawed ice to get in, yep. I don't doubt it. The hell with it, we'll try it. I don't want to get up and move again. We'll try it over here. See if it. See, like these don't even wiggle like a child's tooth. They're tight. So I wonder if this tight row, if this was stirring the material up, and that's why we got such loose stuff. Maybe this was doing the. I'll rake some of the big loose rocks out of the way. I got a little hand classifier in the car, but yeah, see, even this little one packed pretty tight. I was just going to pan today and wasn't going to go live, but I was like, yeah, I haven't posted a video in a while. People are wondering what I'm actually doing. It's a nice heavier one. Maybe they're pretty tight packed in there. Maybe that'll be our golden powder hour. Oh yeah. Yeah, Kayla's definitely the hard one. Anyone that is skeptical of, no, there's no need to be skeptical. That lady can put in the work and she gets more gold than pretty much the rest of us. Especially me right now today. Shoot. I was hoping for one better flake or something. All right. Hi from New Zealand. I would love to go to New Zealand. See what's there. So I'm leaving my scoop where I was last digging. Set that there. There are other people out here, so I'm doing the pants check before I get low to pan. I got to be respectful to the tourists of Alaska, the people coming to Hatcher Pass. Oh yeah, her bear claws, those are awesome. Oh, most of that already floated away. Just such a tiny little action. It's probably a bunch of garbage. Oh well. You don't know till you try. I'm gonna get rid of these disturbing big rocks. Oh, really? I did bring a little sluice, but I just wasn't sure about setting it up and feeding it. Plus, I can't be... There's all these slick rocks. But with my arm, if I slip the wrong way one time, I could end up wrecking all the surgery and recovery I've put the time in for, so I can't be doing that. All right. Did we or did we not get a powder piece? Did we or did we not get any powder pieces? I absolutely know there's no big gold in here. But did I get powder? And that glare is awful. Not even a powder. Damn. Nada. Alright. So recap. First pan, we got a little micro. Second pan, we got a little micro. Third pan, we did so-so. That one I had one. That one I had none. That one I had absolutely none. Oh well. It's here, I bet right over there. And now that the people have moved on, let's migrate over there. Let's move upstream. It's obvious that it settled out before this, or that the straight run right here was not enough time in the bend pushed it to the other side, so I got to get up here by the bigger boulder field. Trying to watch my step here. Messy people. I'm gonna pick that up later. So this is a spot I've worked before, and I did okay. So I'm gonna try that stuff right in the rooty stuff, the exposed rooty stuff. No snuffer left behind. I don't know, that might take a little more muscling to get. I think I'll go right there. So this would be in the path. I've gotten gold out of here. Not much. Don't get your hopes up. But I think we're far enough in on the inside bend of the channel where these monster rocks are that a bunch of the water washes over. Maybe. Ah, yeah, there's the tighter stuff right here. We got this loose, dry float material, and then right there, that tight stuff. I'd have to go somewhere else to get some nuggets, or at least go upstream, and I'd have to get into the channel. Oh, that packed sand. I'm gonna lay those roots up here, get underneath them, and then I'll lay them back. I think this is going to be better. And by how much, I don't know. But I do know it won't be by a lot. Well, technically, anything versus nothing is 100% better. So, odds are this will be 100% better than the last pan that had absolutely nothing. And I can see the smallest gold. I've got eagle eyes for the gold. Funny, the one time Kayla and I were panning samples and stuff, we were finding these itty bitty little pieces. But man, could those cameras zoom in on those pieces in the pan. Yeah, we got tight. Oops. I'm too busy looking with my eyes, talking out loud. You keep the camera in there, Justin. Oh yeah. So we're getting some tight pack. That usually is good. Usually is good. Oops, that's that loose stuff. That's a big rock. I'm gonna shake these roots clean. I'm not gonna destroy the roots. I'm not gonna rip them apart. And I'm gonna put them back in that hole, but I kind of want what they're holding. Hand's almost full there. Most of the weight will leave in just literally a little shake. So that's how it works. Tiny little shake of the pan, a little this, a little that. Has anyone else still getting out there? I know Ray said he's gone out 3 times. Right, Ray? They're amazing at their job, that's for sure. Yeah, the one guy, when we were panning, he was standing like, 5 feet away. I'd say longer than arm's reach. Longer than average arm's reach. And he literally took that lens and did this thing and like, whoop, zoomed right in on this little speck of gold in the middle of the pan. The littlest of little gold. I don't know. Let's see here. I'm taking a mild breather. I filled the pan. I've been squatted down into this. Are you down? No. This side of the river, the bedrock is actually deep. Over there is the bedrock, but I'm not in a condition to actually be crossing and trying to get over there. Plus, I'd have to go all the way up into that corner there to actually have some open materials to work by that boulder patch. So right here is an inside bend, and depending on the strength of the melt off in spring, the main channel goes around that there's an island of trees there, and the other one comes around here. And this area gets reworked and deposited, stirring up the light stuff. And on a major flood, you'll actually hear these rocks rolling from down river. All right. Just trying to see if there's any actual, if I can just pan right here in my pool. Don't forget my snuffer bottle. You guys would not believe how many times I have left a snuffer bottle behind. And then I just hope that a kid found it and was so ecstatic. Of course, the parents are probably like, oh, that's probably for something you're not supposed to have. It looks like chemistry stuff. Oh, there's one of those green stones. Let me get this pan oriented right. I could be out here for hours and hours. I don't know what time it is right now. I've kind of lost track. Oh, that's new. That's a good one. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, it's not huge. That's not huge, but that's a good flake. So yeah, needed to move right there where that blue scoop is. I don't think this will make you rich. This may be, I don't know, at 5,000 an ounce, maybe a penny. I need about 5,000, oh, probably more than 5,000. It's probably not even a penny. But that's our first nice flake of the day. Oh, looks like somebody's doing some photos back there. Yep, oh, and there's actually a little tiny one next to it right there on the edge. So there's our first nice actual raw recovered piece of gold here today. And there's a nice little, bigger than the rest of them. So that's second place. It would have been first place for the longest time if I found it originally. But that's a nice one. And a lot of the gold down here is actually of high purity. Oh, horse nugget, right? Yeah. There, you can see that other piece. I kind of swirled it. You see that Second one right above it by the lip edge. It moves a lot easier. And then there's some micros in here, but I don't care about those micros. Oh shoot, I just washed it all down there. The hell with it. All right, we got more gold. Let me get tucked up here again. Boop. Be careful. You start getting clumsier as you get actual pieces of gold. Normally a piece like that wouldn't get me so actually excited, but yeah, no. After the kind of day I've had. Uh-oh. Oh shoot, my battery's at 5%. Of course. Of course my battery's at 5%, because why doesn't life hog that battery? It was at 85% when I started an hour ago. I'm at 4%. Shoot. Well, I think at least you guys saw that one piece. I'm gonna have to get my phone charging. My son just went for a walk to do his Pokemon Go game while I do this. He was on standby in case I needed a big rock lifted, since he's kid hollering from a nearby parked car. Alright, well, I guess that's it. If you guys are new here, haven't subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you do. Hope I showed you through education today that I deserve it and that I earned it. If if not anything else for today, if I don't get my phone charged and start this up again, may your pans be golden and you have a good morning, day, or night. Whatever it is, wherever you are. Thanks for being here.